life. That's the stupidity of life. You meet a man, he throws you a few things your way, a few words, a few flowers, a few lunches, and you say, I've never met a man, sijawahi ona mwanaume kama, what about your father? you know, mmekutana naye juzi juu, so that you might know God. And this is what we talked about. We said in Exodus 33, God comes to Moses, and this is after they had created a golden calf. And they had said, we want a God that we can see, that we can manipulate. Because I think that's the desire of man. I think that's the original temptation. If you can manage your own destiny, if you can be able to provide for your own needs, and then be able to thank an object instead of an omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient God, then it seems to work well. And they say, this is the God that brought you up out of Egypt. Mungu ameumba saa hiyo hiyo. That's the stupidity of life. That's the stupidity of life. You meet a man, he throws you a few things your way, a few words, a few flowers, a few lunches, and you say, I've never met a man, sijawahi ona mwanaume kama, what about your father? you know, mmekutana naye juzi juu, so you got pamoja. The Israelites were behaving the same way. They said, oh Israel, these are the gods who brought you out of Egypt. And God, in holy anger, tells them, hey, listen, I'm going to keep my promise to you of time. As Ken keeps saying, this place has good grass. You're able to walk around. The atmosphere is good, and there is a pathway. Even beyond here, you can walk around and get to pray. Engage in that time in prayer. Corporate times, communal times of prayer, so that we're able to engage in that. Is that clear? Awesome. Verse 7 of Exodus 33. It says, now Moses used to take a tent and pitch it outside the camp some distance away. Moses used to set a tent outside of the camp, and he used to call it the tent of the meeting. Now don't confuse this with the tabernacle. Okay? The tabernacle was to be set up later on. Now, the camp of the people, if you ever get a figure, and maybe I'm going to draw that also in the group, a figure of how the camp was set. It was set in 4 ways, and there was a certain center. But you try and imagine, beyond the camp, Moses set out a tent of meeting. Possibly, some commentators have said it was possibly his own tent. But tent. He put out his own tent and called it the tent of meeting. And the Bible says, anyone inquiring of the Lord will go to the tent of meeting, and a bit more specifically, outside the camp. Outside the camp. Knowing God is going to take you effort. Knowing God is going to take you out of your comfort zone. It's going to take you outside of the camp. And the Bible says something very interesting, that Moses used to rise up and walk all the way outside of the dwelling of the people to the tent of the meeting, so that he could go and meet with God. And you can try and imagine, kwa Cairo sijui kuna population ya watu wangapi, wala watu, what's the population of people kwa Cairo? Anyone with an idea? Suspicious idea. 20,000? Is that high or low? Aizo, what do you think? Around that. Okay, now try and add 2 more zeros to that. Okay? Because these people are about 2 million. And Moses is walking past them to actually go to the tent of meeting. So it's taking him a while, right? To pass through all those dwellings of the people to actually go and meet God. And the Bible says, and the people used to rise up, and when they saw Moses passing by, they will stand at the entrances of their tents. Sorry. Sawa. They will stand, I was just trying to make sure that it is set properly. They would stand at the entrances of their tents, watching Moses go to meet God. relaxed, and comfortable. The Bible says anyone who wanted to meet with God could go into the tent of meeting and meet with God. But the people they knew it, but they used to watch Moses rise up. And maybe the guys who used to wait the longest are the ones who are living closest to Moses, because they have to rise up. Za akipita ndio watu wanaamka kama anaenda, na akirudi watakaa chini kama mpaka wa mwisho. Right? But they would watch him go. I want to encourage you. Leave the comfort that you have so that you may get to know God. You cannot just sit and hope to know God. You have to pick up something. You have to make some effort. You have to leave some comfort and get to know God. You have to leave a certain comfort. Leave the comfort and accept the inconvenience. That I am going to be inconvenienced so that I might gain what God desires for me to gain. This is the attitude of those who seek to know God. They rejoice in the opportunity of getting to know God. We say it when we are praying and when we are starting the service. I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. I was glad, rejoicing. Any relationship, and we have said, I want to know God, but God also wants to be known. Any relationship, if it is going to grow, it requires effort. You cannot be lazy and be in a relationship. Wengine wetu mumewachwa because of pure laziness. Yeah. You don't make any effort. Mtu anakutext